What's up, guys? Spexstar here today with my Week 3 battle for Duel Society, and I'm going up here against Horus in a battle of the unbeatens in our division. We're both 2-0 right now, and we're fighting to make it 3-0 here. And he has himself a team consisting of Snorlax, Darkrai, Empoleon, Xerneas, Scolipede, and the ever so threatening, we ranked at number 1 in our top Megas video, Mega Gallade. Now, as my little dog tries to paw at my keyboard, I'm going to switch over to my team screen, and this is what we've got here. Starting off, we've got a Scarf Xerneas, which I was creeping something with 291 speed, I think. Anyway, I've got the Xerneas here with Moonblast, Thunderbolt, Defog, Close Combat, definitely creeping something. It might have been Darkrai. I think that's what it was, yeah. Was it? No, that's not doing math right. I'm way faster than that. I'm creeping something Scarf. Oh well. Anyway, next up I've got my Air Balloon Excadrill, which can set up on a good deal of his team, and he doesn't have that much that breaks it on an Air Balloon. And if I get a Sword Stance, he has a real hard time dealing with this, especially since he didn't bring a ground resist on his team. Next, my dog's biting at me. I got Sword Stance, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Rapid Spin in case I want to get rid of any hazards. Basically, Earthquake and Rock Slide hit his whole team well enough. Shadow, what are you doing? He likes messing with my videos now. That's his new favorite thing. I think you guys got him there. I tried to move my face cam towards him. Anyway, next up here I've got my Smooth Rock T-Tar with Excadrill. I need to be able to set the sand. I've got Rocks, Superpower, Roar, and Stone Edge. Roar helps me deal with Curse-Lax, among other things. Shadow, you're trying to ruin my video here. I never ruin your videos, and I thank you to give me the same respect. He's a crazy dog. Next up here, I have got Skarmory, which is Defog, Roost, Drill Peck, and Spikes. Drill Peck hits Gallade, among other things, refuses to let it get up as sub. Kind of hits the rest of his team somewhat well. And Spikes are very nice to set up hazards to help Excadrill and Xerneas win this game. And next up here, I've got Amoonguss. This is my primary answer to Primarina, which didn't actually come. I initially had Thundurus here. I switched to Amoonguss because I started getting worried about Primarina, which he does like to bring. And I've got Clear Smog, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Ice, which was for Salamence, and Foul Play. Was it for something else or just Salamence? I think it might have been just Salamence. Hello, dog. You just scratched my face while I was recording a video. Okay, I'm just gonna let him do it. Lastly, I have got an Assault Vest Incineroar with Intimidate. I've got Knockoff, U-Turn, Fire Punch, and Drain Punch. This dealt with a lot of his best special attackers. It gave me a good pivot. Intimidate had some use. And the last move you can't see at the bottom is Drain Punch. I've got a lot of special defense investment, and I've got some speed to make sure I can outpace Empoleon. So back to this. Let me switch to the right screen too. There we go. I'm just gonna decide to lead off with my Incineroar here. It gave me... it was basically good against anything but Gallade, pretty much. Probably not Empoleon either. And even if he did go Gallade, Intimidate let me bring in Skarmory or even Xerneas fairly freely. So that's my plan here. I'm going to lead off with my Incineroar. He's going to lead off with Xerneas. I'm just going to click Knockoff since he doesn't really have a great bring. And if he does go Empoleon, I'd love to get rid of that thing's item and get that chip off on it. Instead, he goes into Gallade and gets a justified boost, so he catches me there, and now I'm in a little bit of an situation here. I'm going to bring in my Amoonguss just to try and get him to click Zen Headbutt while I go into Skarmory. That's kind of my plan there. So I will bring in my Skarmory as he does click Zen Headbutt. He gets a crit, not necessarily the end of the world here. I'm going to roost up because he's Drain Punch, not close combat, which means I can roost up on him. and he'll bring back in his circuitry, and I gotta explain this play. So my thought process here was, he's got no ground resist, which means if I bring in my Excadrill, he is in a tough position here. So I think he's actually just gonna double out here, predicting the Excadrill switching, and I'm so confident in that I'm actually just gonna go ahead and click my Spike here, predicting him to switch. As I roost here, and now I'm gonna click my Spike. He actually Volt switches, which is not what I was expecting, because if I went Drill there, it would have put him in a bad position. He's gonna Volt out into Darkrai. I will get my Spike up, which is nice, but at the cost of my Skarmory, which is fairly valuable. So here I'm gonna bring in my Assault Vest and Moongus, which deals with Darkrai pretty well. Now, the play here I'm gonna make is two main reasons in my thought process. I'm gonna go into Incineroar, and that's because A, it scouts for Psyshock. B, if he switches out into anything he may want to go out to, I'd probably rather have my Incineroar out instead of a Moongus. So that's kind of my thought process here. I will go into my Incineroar here. He's gonna go for an Ice Beam again. And here I'm gonna decide that I actually just want a U-turn. He knows that I live Focus Blast. I know that I live Focus Blast. I think my thought process here is that he wouldn't want to trade Darkrai for Incineroar. That's probably not a good trade for him, I'm thinking. So I'm just going to click U-turn, expecting him to switch out. I could have went back into a Moongus, predicting a Focus Blast. It just wasn't the play I was thinking he would do. But I turned out to be completely wrong yet again. He's going to Focus Blast me. We'll both get a lot of health off on each other. I'll bring in my Xerneas, and I'm going to close combat, thinking he may be most likely to go into Snorlax or his Empoleon. Instead, he goes on a Scolipede, which didn't really take Moonblast too well, so I'm going to regret clicking CC on it. I'm going to bring in my my T-Tar here, not my Snorlax. I'm going to bring in my T-Tar here on the Pede. He probably wouldn't go for a raw superpower there. He actually goes for a Rock Slide, and that's not actually the best for me that it missed, because if it landed, I would have known if I was safe to stay in on a superpower or not, because he needed to be Life Orb to be able to take me out with his superpower. Any other boosting move wouldn't have got the job done. So here I don't know if I am safe. I'm actually going to decide to go into my Incineroar, which covered him switching out, or if he clicks Superpower, it's not the end of the world for me. Instead, he goes for Mega Horn, which surprised me, because he would have traded all of his Scolipede for, I don't know, maybe about 50-60% on my T-Tar there, since I was max Fizz D. If he did click Mega Horn as I click Stone Edge, so I was surprised to see that here. Fortunately, my Incineroar is going to dodge it, but not fortunate for him. He wasn't too much loving that turn. I'm just going to go back into my Amoonguss here now, because with the attack drop, I'm comfortable to take it 2 hits from this thing, I believe. He's actually going to go ahead and click Protect here. I'm going to go ahead and click my Foul Play, which is just my best move to hit this Pokemon, and really anything he might want to switch in on. If he goes Gallade, it's going to take a lot of health from this. So I will just click my Foul Play here relatively freely. He's going to go into Snorlax, and it is going to take nothing from my Foul Play. That is Fizz D Snorlax based on my calcs on this thing. It's almost all the way Fizz D, but not all the way Fizz D, which is some interesting information here. My Tar is all the way Fizz D, so I'm going to bring it in safely on his Snorlax. I want to get my rocks up here. If he brings an Empoleon, I would have been able to superpower that thing as he defogged, so that wasn't too scary to me. Very nice to have these rocks up now. He brings in his Darkrai. I'm going to go into my Amoonguss, which I'm comfortable in walling it, especially since I now am pretty confident he doesn't have Psyshock based on what he's shown me. He's going to Ice Beam, and that thing is going to drop to Life Orb damage. He's going to freeze me, but Amoonguss is going to come up clutch, as it always has for me, and thaw out, which is very fortunate. So here he's going to bring in his Mega Gallade, and I'm actually going to sack Skarmory. I could have sacked Incineroar and got an Intimidate drop, but I actually didn't want there to be a scenario where the Megahorn miss was blamed for my victory if I did win this game. So I decided I was just going to act as if Incineroar did die that turn and play as if it's not there anymore, and decide to sack my Skarmory here. Now, a few people watching this video might think I'm stupid for doing that, but it was just something I wanted to do for myself. And I'm going to sack my Skarmory here as he clicks Zen Headbutt. Now I get to bring in my monster, my Xerneas here, and he is lacking the switch-ins as I go ahead and click Moonblast. He goes into Empoleon. He's going to show to not be all the way special defense, but have some special defense investment alongside max HP. Good to know. I'm going to bring my T-Tar, because if he defogs, I'm going to be able to get my rocks back up. I'm going to set him here. If he tries to defog, I got more PP in my rocks than he has in defog, and I want to have them up. He's going to go ahead and go for a waterfall here, and I just want to click my superpower. Depending on his set, it should be 100% to KO the thing, but he actually gets crit by my superpower. He needed to have a lot of physical defense to take that, so I'm not sure if it would have KO'd without it. He brings in his Gallade here, and I'm just going to bring in my Xerneas. I haven't won Xerneas on this thing before, so I don't think he would click P-Jab there. That's my thought process. Now that I got Xerneas in, it's Moonblast time once again, and he has to sack his Xurkitree, which is going to give Xerneas its 6th KO of the season, which is 6 out of 15 for my bet with this man here about how many it's going to get. So now he's going to bring in his Scolipede. I didn't think it would have P-Jab because I thought it would have a move to hit my Excadrill, but I didn't want to take the chance because Xerneas gets a KO on every time Gallade comes in. So I'm just going to go into my Amoonguss here. He's going to Mega Horn. I'm going to Foul Play him and take the thing out. So now it's a 5-on-2 here for me. Snorlax, the biggest threat remaining since I have Xerneas for the Gallade. He'll bring in the Gallade. I just click Foul Play. I don't let it Sword Stance. I don't let it sub up. None of those. He KOs me, and now it's time to bring Xerneas back in, the threat, the monster. Gonna click Moonblast again. He's gonna go out into Snorlax and actually show to be physically defense invested Assault Vest. So definitely he came out with an elaborate set here, which is very interesting to me. But I'm gonna click Moonblast again and take the Snorlax out. And then here will come in his Gallade, and Xerneas is gonna get the final KO of the game, moving it to 5 KOs out of, or moving it to 8 KOs out of 15 for our bet with how many weeks left? 10 weeks left. So yeah, I've got 10 weeks to get 7 more KOs on this Pokemon, which is looking pretty promising, and Xerneas is looking like a real MVP contender with 8 KOs and 0 deaths in 3 games. And the team here, the Wu-Tang Clan, is going to move on to 3-0 plus 16. GG to Horus. He's a friend, a subscriber, so had fun battling him here. He got me with a few plays earlier where I was expecting him to do some things that he did not do, so kudos to him there. And that's going to be it for this video and this battle. And our next one for week 4, I'm not sure how soon it'll be out. They extended week 2 to be extra long, and I'm hoping they don't do the same thing with week 3 because I had no problems getting battles done on time. But some do, so we don't know for sure. And that's going to be it for this video. As I said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.